I've had the Galaxy Watch 7 ever since it came out. But recently, I've been wondering if I should have just skipped it and waited for the Watch 8 because of how similar it is to the Watch 6. But this is not to say that it's a bad watch. I mean, if you look at it by itself, just as a watch, it's actually pretty solid. Alright, so you've got this great round aluminum design weighing around 28 grams, so it's a pretty lightweight and comfortable fit. It's also got this 1.3-inch Super AMOLED display with a sapphire crystal glass, making it durable as well. Not to mention, you can also take calls on this decent speaker as well. You can also move around the UI a lot easier because you've got a rotating bezel. Like, as far as smartwatches go, this looks good, is built well, and you know, it's not bad. But alright, it's time to get out of here. I was only here because those outside shots of the watch looked really good. Alright, let's go. Alright, now that I'm home, let's talk about the battery life. In my experience, it's been pretty average, lasting about a day and a half with average use. And average use for me is basically just wearing it like a watch and maybe occasionally 20-30 minutes at a time tracking some sort of workout or walking that I'm doing. And with that, it lasted me a day and a half. Now, depending on how you use the watch, you can probably get more or less out of it. For example, if you have power savings, you can probably extend the life. Or on the other hand, if you have always on display or you do a lot of tracking, it'll probably be less than what I experienced. So in general, it's pretty much like what I experienced with the Watch 6. So it's not amazing, and there have been other watches over the years that have gotten much better with battery life. But at the same time, again, it's not bad. Even when you look at this as a fitness or health tracker, it's got pretty much everything you need. And you've even got all of this right here. Pretty much everything that you need. And on top of that, it can even detect sleep apnea. So in general, the sleep tracking and analysis is very robust. The watch even gives you an energy score at the start of the day. It's basically something that measures your physical and mental readiness and energy levels based on everything you did the day before. So like if you slept well, if you did a lot of activity, or if you didn't, then it takes all that into account and gives you a score. And based on that score, you should just get an idea of what you should probably do with your body, if you should rest a little bit, if you should work out more, things like that. So based on all of this, I don't know if you can tell, but again, it's not bad at all. It's actually really good. Essentially, if you got this watch, I think you'd be happy with it. Sure, the battery life isn't the best, but when you look at it overall, it's a great watch. Of course, if you have a Samsung phone, because some things aren't on non-Samsung phones. And obviously, it doesn't work with Apple at all. But if you ignore that, it's a great watch. But my concern is when you compare the Watch 7 to the Watch 6. First off, the design is very, very similar between the two watches. The battery life is also more or less the same in my experience. And third of all, the core functionality of both the watches is basically the same. So you're probably wondering then, what exactly is new with the Watch 7? Well, the processor is new and it's supposed to be more efficient and faster than the Watch 6. In practice, it's basically the same for me. You also get more storage at 32 gigabytes if you want to have more apps or you load music onto this thing. Not to mention, of course, improved and better sleep tracking on the Watch 7. And that is basically it, guys. So the question is this watch worth it? Well, if you want the improved sleep tracking and efficiency and all the new things that I mentioned, then get it, because this is the best that Samsung has to offer at this size. I say this size because of course they have the Watch Ultra, which is bigger and more expensive, but you know, at this size, this is the best that they have. And if you want to pay the $400, then I think you will be happy with this watch because like we said, it's a great watch. But if you want essentially the same thing, but for cheaper, then just get the Watch 6. Or maybe at this point skip this entirely and wait for the Watch 8 that's coming later this year. I don't know, it's up to you, but this has been my review and my thoughts on it. And if you liked this video, then like it, and if you loved it, then subscribe, and I'll see you later. Peace.